Uh, my dear student friends, welcome back. So previous class we were discussing about the PN junction diode and what is PN junction diode and what are the biasing operations and VA characteristics we were discussed. So now we are going to discuss about the next topic, that is the transition capacitance and the diffusion capacitance. How does this transition capacitance and diffusion capacitance is work, or it is working in the PN junction diode? So this is the introduction section of transition capacitance, mentioned as CT, particularly used in the reverse bias operation of a PN junction diode, and diffusion capacitance CD. It is particularly used in the forward bias of the PN junction diode. So in a PN junction diode, the two types of capacitance, we know that capacitance means is used to store some sort of electric energy. There's ability to store electric energy. The PN junction diode with narrow depletion width and large p-type and n-type regions will store large amount of electric charge, whereas the PN junction diode with wide depletion width and small p-type and n-type regions will store only a small amount of electric charge. So what you are mentioning there, the PN junction diode with narrow depletion width and large p-type and n-type regions will that's what it store a lot of electric energy. So based upon the how does the P region and region are selected, we can able to increase the width of the electric charge. We can able to store the electric charges. That's what. Therefore, the capacitance of the reverse bias P junction diode decreases when voltage increases. Very important point here. The capacitance of the reverse bias PN junction diode decreases when voltage increases. And next, in case of in the forward bias, you can see here the transition capacitance exists. The presence of transition capacitor exists here. So, however, the transition capacitance is very small. We cannot say the transition capacitance is not completely is not there. So some sort of a minimum level or a small level it will be there. Hence, transition capacitance is neglected in the forward bias. That's why I mentioned particularly the transition capacitance CT is work in the reverse bias mode. Next, you can see the amount of capacitance changed with increase in voltage is called transition capacitance. If they ask in 2 mark, what is transition capacitance? It's nothing but the amount of capacitance changed with increase in voltage. If we increase the voltage, automatically the value, the amount of the capacitance of value will be increased here. So next, the transition capacitance is also known as the depletion region capacitance. So particularly we know what is depletion region. That is the region in between the p-type and n-type is known as the depletion region. As we know, I mentioned earlier that if it is in forward bias, the depletion region will be the width of the depletion region will be very low, very small, and the whereas in the reverse bias, the depletion region, the width will be very high. So considering before going to this capacitance transition, that is the transition capacitance and diffusion capacitance, we should know about the biasing already that we discussed, and what is the range, whether it is a small or small size or bigger size depletion region, we should know very clearly in this before going to this topic. Next, how we can calculate this CT value? So we have a formula, that is excuse. The change of capacitance at the depletion region can be defined as the change in electric charge per change in voltage, that is CT can be measured with dq by dv. That is, dq is nothing but change in electric charge. So how the change in electric charges occurs? Because of the depletion region. And next is the dv, that is change in voltage. So we can easily the transition capacitance can be find out by, that is dq by dv, that is change in electric charge divided by the change in voltage. So other mathematically this CT can be written as, that is epsilon A divided by W. We have two formulas to calculate the CT. That is here E is the epsilon is the permittivity of the semiconductor, and A is the area of the plates, or you can say P type and N type regions area, and W is the width of the depletion region. Through these two formulas, or through two modes, we can able to calculate the CT. I already mentioned, please remember that CT is particularly used in the reverse bias. In reverse bias, the depletion region width will be very high. So this transition capacitance is used in the reverse bias mode. Yes. Next, we will see about the diffusion capacitance. I already told transition capacitance and diffusion capacitance are the two factors that we are going to see here. So the second one is the diffusion capacitance occur in the forward bias, the PN junction diode. The diffusion capacitance is also sometimes referred as a storage capacitance. Here it is, we say it is a storage capacitance, that is the CD. And what about the CT? We say it is a depletion region capacitance particularly. So please make a note of it. And it is mentioned as the CD. We know that in forward bias diode, diffusion capacitance is much larger than the transition capacitance. That's very, very important. Hence, diffusion capacitance is considered in forward bias mode. The diffusion capacitance occurs due to stored charge of minority electrons and minority holes near the depletion region. How does this the diffusion capacitance occurs is because the stored charge of minority electrons and minority holes near the depletion region. Only these make the diffusion capacitance. When forward bias voltage is applied to the PN junction diode, electrons, that is the majority carriers in the N region, will move into the P region and recombines with the holes. Similarly, other way, the holes in the P region will move into the N region and recombines with electrons. As a result, the width of the depletion region decreases. Yeah, we know that already in forward biasing mode, the width of the depletion region is very small and very low. So please remember that the CT, that is transition capacitance, is used in the reverse bias mode, whereas the CD, that is diffusion capacitance, is used in the forward bias mode. Just please make a note of this particular topic, particular thing. So next is similarly how we have calculated the CT. CD also can be calculated. We can see here. And the width of the depletion region decreases, the diffusion capacitance increases. That is we say it is the vice versa operation here. If the width of the depletion region decreases, automatically the CD increases. The diffusion capacitance value will be in the range of, that is very, very important, nanofarads to the microfarads, the range of the CD they are talking about. The formula to calculate the diffusion capacitance is similar than that of the CT. CT also dq by dv, the CD also dq by dv. Can make a note of, but other formula we have for CT, but for this CD we have this formula, that is CD is nothing but diffusion capacitance. Change in number of, that is dq here is the change in number of minority carriers stored outside the depletion region, and dV is change in voltage applied across the diode. So this is about the transition capacitance and the diffusion capacitance that are used in the PN junction diode. So next topic, we'll be discussing about the rectifiers. Yeah, diode is also acts as a rectifiers, but we need other for particular applications we need a high quality device, a high rectifier device. So that way, the rectifier is nothing but an electrical device. It is an electrical device which converts an alternating current, AC current, into direct current, that is DC1, by allowing a current to flow through it in one direction. Very, very important. So similarly like the diode, we know that the rectifiers is a one directional way, conversion way, that is converting AC into DC. Converts the alternating current into direct current. That's the important explanation or definition for this rectifier. So we are a number of types are there, but basically we will be seeing about the half wave rectifier and the full wave rectifier. These are the basic two types. Is also there in your syllabus. That is, you can see here. That is half wave and full wave rectifiers. So the name itself implies that what you mean call off and what is the full. So off means half wave rectifier. Wait, yeah, you can see here. You can mention here. Yeah. Next is we use rectifier in almost all the electronic devices, mostly in the power supply section, to convert the main voltage into DC. So almost all the electronic goods or electronic products have been particularly used as in the DC voltage, because it is readily available and easily we can able to operate. For that purpose, they are using the rectifier as the first operator, that is converting that is AC signal or AC source into the DC source or DC voltage or current. This is very, very important. So next we'll see about the half wave rectifier. Yeah, first you can see we are using the only one diode here, and particularly this half wave rectifier will converts only in the positive axis or positive cycle. So we are using a AC source here. You can see the circuit diagram of the half wave rectifier, the AC supply. So we know that first rectifier is nothing but convert AC into DC. So here the input is the AC source. AC we know that single phase supply, mostly we are getting 220 to 230 VAC. So for that voltage decreasing or come down, we are using this step down transformer, almost from the range of 230 to 9V or 12V is more than sufficient for operating this particular circuit. So for that purpose we are using this step down transformer here, and from that the crystal diodes receives the voltage or energy, and next is go through the load. This is the basic circuit diagram. The same you can see this briefly in the waveform. So the input, we know that the input AC is the sinusoidal waveform with respect to time, and if it is in half wave rectifier, only the diode will activates only in the positive cycle, positive half cycle. So that way, that is the meaning we say this is the half wave rectifier. Half wave rectifier is nothing but converts or operates or actuates only in the positive cycle. And next, the half wave rectifier is a type of rectifier that rectifies only half cycle of the waveform. That's what I mentioned earlier. So next, the half wave rectifier consists of step down transformer. That's why we already mentioned in the circuit diagram. So you can make a note of it. The main supply voltage is given to the transformer, which will increase or decrease the voltage, and given to the diode. Most probably we are not going to increase, we are not using the step up transformer here, only we will be using the step down transformer. So in most of the cases that we say, we will decrease the supply voltage by using step down transformer here. Also the output of the step down transformer will be in AC. This decreased AC voltage is given to the diode, which is connected serial to the secondary winding of the transformer diode. transformer. Diode is electronic component which allows only the forward bias current. Very, very important point here. The diode will only receive the forward bias current and will not allow the reverse bias current. From the diode, we will getting the pulsating DC and give to the load resistance RL. So this is the working principle or the explanation about the circuit diagram over here. So next is positive half cycle and negative half cycle. In positive half cycles, when the input AC power is given to the primary winding of the step down transformer, we will get the decreased voltage at the secondary winding which is given to the diode. So next is the diode will allow current flowing in clockwise direction from anode to cathode in the forward bias. That is, the diode conduction will take place in forward bias only, while which will generate only the positive half cycle of the AC. The diode will eliminate the variations in the DC supply and give the pulsating DC voltage to the load resistance RL. We can get the pulsating DC at the load resistance. This is a normal working of a half-wave rectifier. We can see in the negative half cycle mode. In the negative half cycle, the current will flow in the anti-clockwise direction. You can kindly make a note of it. Based upon the direction of the current flow, only this particular waveform will occur. You can see here in negative half cycle, the current will flow in the anti-clockwise direction and the diode will go into the reverse bias. In the reverse bias, the diode will not conduct, and so no current will flow from anode to cathode, and we cannot get any power at the load resistance. So that's why, for that reason, in the negative half cycle, there is no current flow. Only small amount of reverse current is flown from the diode, but this current is also almost negligible. We cannot say that is zero current is not flowing. But there is some sort of current is flowing, but that is negligible. And voltage across the load resistance is also zero. In the negative half cycle, we can say the load resistance or RL value will always be a zero or negligible condition. Only it operates in the positive half cycle. This is about the half wave rectifier. Next we will see about the full wave rectifier. Full wave rectifier, we can see from the name itself, it is a full wave. So full wave means the one cycle. So both positive as well as the negative. So it operates in both positive and the negative. So for that purpose, we are using the two diodes here. So previously we say in half rectifier we will be using only one diode, and here we will be using two diodes. So we can see that. You can see the circuit of full wave rectifier. The point we can see here, point A to B, and in between A to B, the C, this is connected with the RL, and diode D1 and diode D2. You can see current flows when D1 conducts in the forward direction. Similarly, current flows when D2 conducts, it is in the anti-clockwise direction. So for controlling the both cycles, so the D1 is used for the positive half cycle, and D2 is used for controlling the flow of current in the negative half cycle. We can see the explanation. While this method may be suitable for low power applications, very important, and it is not suitable to applications which need a steady and smooth DC supply voltage. So only for low power applications, this full wave rectifier can be used. We cannot say that the rectification or the rectifying process, the DC output, we cannot able to get a smooth one. Some sort of disturbance can be produced here. So one method to improve on this, to use every half cycle of the input voltage instead of every other half cycle. The circuit which allows you to do this is called a full wave rectifier. It is very important. We have some methodology, we have some operation, that is to improve on this is to use every half cycle of the input voltage instead of every other half cycle. So step by step we are giving the voltages here. Like the off-wave circuit, a full-wave rectifier circuit produces an output voltage or current which is purely DC or has some specified DC component. Full-wave rectifiers have some fundamental advantages over their off-wave rectifier counterparts. Yeah, we say that some sort of advantages when compared to the off-wave rectifier, the full-wave rectifier has. So what are the advantages? We can see here. The average DC output voltage is higher than that for a off-wave. That is the average DC voltage we say in here. It will be higher in the full-wave rectifier when compared to the off-wave. The output of the full-wave rectifier has much less ripple. So ripple current is very less. That of rectifier producing a smoother output waveform. That is important here. Two factors we are going to consider, that is the average output voltage value as well as the ripple current here. So next, the ripple factor you see. In full-wave rectifier circuit, two diodes are now used, one for each half of the cycle. A multiple winding transformer is used whose secondary is splitting equally into two halves with a common center tap connection. So there we are in the off-wave rectifier we are using the step down transformer, whereas in the full-wave rectifier we are using the center tap transformer. That is the equal proportion for the connected in the see the circuit, the transformer, the C point, the equal proportion, that is the from the point A to C is equal. Similarly, the turns are equal, similarly to the C to B. Yes. Next is multiple winding transformer is used. Secondary winding is split equally into two halves with a common center tap transformer. That is connection we mentioned in the C. This configuration results in each diode conducting in turn when it is anode terminal is positive with respect to the transformer. Center point, very important, the anode terminal as well as the center tap point. So these two parameters, two factors to be considered. See, you can see at this point, the transformer center point C producing an output during both of cycles. Twice that for the off-wave rectifier, so it is 100% efficient. So that's why we are telling you the efficiency of the full-wave rectifier is somewhat higher than the off-wave rectifier. So next, the full-wave rectifier circuit consists of two power diodes that we said. We are using two power diodes connected to a single load resistance RL. With each diode taking it into turn to supply current to the load when a point A of the transformer is positive with respect to the point C. Diode D1 conducts in forward direction and indicates by the arrow in the circuit. You can see here. And next, when point B is positive in the negative of a half cycle with respect to the point C, diode 2 conducts in the forward direction. And the current flowing through a resistor R is the same direction for both the half cycles. The current direction of the R will be almost same in the both operations. And as the output voltage across the resistor is the phasor sum of the two waveforms combined. This type of full-wave rectifier circuit is also known as biphase circuit. That is the two-phase. Bi means we know that it is two-phase. So at this juncture, I like to repeat. I like to mention you that please be very clear that half-wave rectifier and full-wave rectifier. So the half-wave rectifier, what are the parts? What are the important essentials we are using here? A step-down transformer and a single diode and a RL load. So next, whereas in the full-wave rectifier using two diodes, repeat the half-wave rectifier. We can see in the waveform it will converts the AC into DC current flow only in the positive axis, not in the negative axis. Whereas in the forward full-wave rectifier, it can able to control in both the operate in both the forward positive as well as the negative axis. So this is the This is all about the off-wave rectifier, full-wave rectifier, transistor capacitance, and diffusion capacitance. I hope you enjoyed the session. Next topic we will be covering in the coming further sections. Thanks for your patient listening. Thank you.